guys, I'm Clara and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here with the new Marc Jacobs eyeshadows. These are their 7 eyeshadow pans and they're not new to Marc Jacobs, but they did change all of the colors in the pans and discontinue the old colors. And there are some slight differences between them. These are $49 and I believe that the old ones were $54. The old ones also have 7 grams of product in them and the new ones have just shy of 6 grams of product. So you do get a little less product in the new 7 eyeshadow pans, but they are less expensive to kind of reflect the difference. I did pick up their palette in the shade Provocouture, which is supposed to be smoky plums and magenta, and you can see this is a really intense bright pink color. It is a little bit more vibrant than it looks online, and these palettes do have a mirror in them as well. Now I want to compare my new palette in Provocouture to my old palette in Lolita. And Lolita is a more neutral palette, as you can see. It's not quite as intense. They do both come with 3 matte shades. The Provocouture comes with 4 shimmer shades, and the Lolita comes with 3 shimmer shades and 1 glitter shade. I want to mention that Marc Jacobs matte formula is very good. It's really creamy. When I was using this bright pink shade, which is called In Bed, on my eyes today, I did notice that it was kind of difficult to blend out compared to the other Marc Jacobs mattes. This isn't uncommon with bright matte colors, but it's just something to be aware of if you're using this palette, to be really careful where you're placing this bright pink because it is kind of difficult to move it around. Now, as far as the updated color scheme, I do want to say that I actually like the new color schemes better. They seem more like intuitive and more user-friendly, and definitely I feel like all 7 colors in the Provocouture palette do go together really well, which wasn't quite my experience with the Lolita, which is a little strange because it is a neutrals palette, but I find that just looking at the Lolita palette, it looks like all the colors are slightly different in the pan than they actually apply on the eye. There's a pretty intense pink color in here and also a pretty intense copper color. And just looking at this pan, I'm sure you would have a hard time figuring out which 2 those are. As well as the glitter shade is just a little bit chunkier than I would like. So I found that when I was using this palette, it was kind of more of a pick and choose, like pick 3 or 4 colors to use on the eye, but not all 7 colors necessarily went together. At least the way I was using it. I'm not a makeup artist, so maybe somebody with more skills could make it work, but definitely I feel like the new ones are more user-friendly in their color scheme. I'm going to go through and talk about each of the shades and include swatches as well as a demo using all of these colors. So I first went in with this bright pink shade, which is called In Bed, and this is a matte shade. It's a very intense kind of pink magenta color, and a good way to use these bright colors if you're somebody who's a little bit unsure is to actually use them in the crease because they just kind of warm up the look. But if you get pink too close to your eye, sometimes it can make your eyes look a little bit red. Also a little bit underneath the eye. I used it kind of in the center here, and that gives it just a little bit more warmth to the look because this is a really nice bright warm color. Next I went in with this brown taupe shade called Otherwise. This is also a matte, and I just used it kind of underneath the crease to blend the pink shade down and kind of balance out that bright color. And these 2 matte shades down here did blend a lot better than the pink one. Next I used With Style, which is another matte. It's kind of a grayish pink. It is slightly a strange color, I think, for blending out. I would have preferred something that's not quite so gray because I did blend the crease shade upward with this. It did kind of tone down the pink and blend it into my brow bone. But the slight grayness of it I feel possibly made the other colors look just a tiny bit muddy. Again, all these colors do work together. It's just I feel like this one isn't really my favorite in the palette. And next I started on the lid, and I took this bright shimmer shade Say It, which is a really intense kind of shimmery white pink. It does have a little hint of like a purple to it as well, and I just blended it on the inner third of the lids. And all of the shimmer shades in here performed really, really well. They're definitely really pigmented, they're easy to blend, and they give you a lot of color payoff. Next I went in with this shimmer shade, which is kind of a purpley maroon. The base is kind of a plum color, but it does have a brighter, more like maroon sparkle in it. So that does make the color appear a little bit brighter. This applied really, really well. I'm very happy with the way this color performed. And next I was so excited to use the shade You Might. When I opened the palette, this was the one that my eye went to because it's just my kind of color. It's a shimmer shade, and you can see that it has kind of a gold overlay. It looks like it's a gold over pink, but it's really more of a gold over light purple. I used it on the center of my lid and I applied it first with a brush. The color went on really nice and pigmented. I tried to apply it with my finger to kind of build up the color. It did build up the color slightly, but you do get almost just as good of a result with a brush, which is a little bit unusual. But I didn't really find that this color was very like popping on the eyes. I was expecting it to be a little bit brighter because of the gold. It does blend in the other colors very well. And again, it suits the other colors very nicely. It just wasn't as bright as I thought it would be. And lastly, we have As Well, which is a really interesting color. I would say it's a matte black with kind of a orange coppery shimmer in it. And this is a very intense and pigmented black. I was so surprised when I applied it as kind of the liner today, and it's really nice that they included a sort of liner color in here so you don't have to pack a separate liner if you're like traveling. I did get some fallout just on the right eye with this color, so I don't know, it performed much better on my left eye. I am using a primer on both eyes. I do think that if you're planning on using this black color as part of your look, then you should definitely do your eyes before the rest of your face. But again, I was so surprised and pleased with the pigment from this black color. Overall, this palette is definitely bolder than I'm used to, but I really love the look that I got with it today. It's definitely different from my normal eyeshadow neutral looks. And I do think that this one will be staying in my collection. I think all the colors go together really well, and they give a really nice kind of bold but wearable eye look, and I do prefer their new color combinations. So I'm really happy that Marc Jacobs has redesigned his 7 eyeshadow pans, and I do recommend that you try one that appeals to you. I hope that you have found this review helpful. Please don't forget to subscribe if you like to see more videos like this, and hit the thumbs up button if you have enjoyed watching. I hope that you're all having a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you again really soon. Bye!